Home for All is a coalition made up of about 35 to 37 organizations right now, stakeholders from a variety of backgrounds. It was convened in 2009 by United Way of the Greater Seacoast to start looking at some of the more systemic issues contributing to the rise in homelessness in our region. Over the course of the past 11 years since the coalition was convened, we have done some work at the programmatic level, and what we know is that we really do have some great programs and services on the ground, but we have found that we are significantly challenged by the rental housing market around here, between an extremely low vacancy rate of under 1% and rental rates that are about $10 an hour more expensive than the average renter wage in the region. We realize that we need to put a lot more emphasis in trying to affect that if we're going to be able to move people out of shelter. When Home for All heard that we were selected for a venture fund grant, we could not have been more thrilled. Again, we needed an investor and a champion that could help us launch a project that really has not been tried in its totality anywhere around the country. So we were just beyond delighted. We feel like United Way is the perfect partner, both in terms of providing us with the resources that we need to do this project, but as well as the leadership out in the community. The solution that Home for All has come up with pulls in a less typical partner when it comes to creating affordability or ending homelessness, which is the private rental property owners and landlords. We have found that a lot of emphasis over the past several decades has been on the individual, so addressing what brought somebody into homelessness in the first place and providing them with the tools to get themselves out of homelessness. But we are stymied by a lack of affordable housing. What we have documented is that folks are staying in shelter longer. We've seen a 20% increase in the length of time someone is in shelter over the past 5 years. So this really goes right to the source of the housing market, and we've tried to create a slate of incentives, both financial and programmatic, that might tip somebody to be willing to take a little bit less rent in order to really help the community in general. And we've found already in some of the preliminary work that we've done that there are rental property owners and landlords out there who, with a little bit of support or a little bit of financial incentive, are willing to participate with us. One of the most important things for folks to understand about people who are at risk of or end up in a situation where they are homeless is that oftentimes these folks are working. There may be an episodic situation that put them in the position that we have many programs and services available to folks, and oftentimes once they avail themselves to that, they really do have the tools. What we don't have is the ability to move them on to an affordable housing situation in the community where they have established all of these links and connections. And so what we want people to understand is that homelessness is the result oftentimes of more systemic issues versus individual and personal choice, and that the only way we can prevent and end homelessness is to do everything in our power to address those systemic issues, in addition to providing folks with the tools they need.